I had to let go of the way I thought, and the things that I used to see. And so I prayed to love and I prayed to see the city shining everywhere. And I let God lift me up far beyond my toils and snails. 'Cause God is my present help, even in your time of need. God's hands are there for you, even when you don't believe. Right now, open up and believe. Right now, open up and receive. Right now, open up and go to the city, the serious city of God. Receive me. I was standing before that had shut out the light, but your love, oh God, restored my sight. Hallelujah! Oh, heaven's at hand. I believe in myself again. Hallelujah! Oh, in the city. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Go! And sounds of spirit. All right. Wow, what a great song. So as I mentioned earlier, one of our longtime members, Amadus, transitioned suddenly, Matthew Godfrey, about a week and a half ago. So I've been thinking a lot about Matthew this last week, and a couple things. I'll just share this. It's not a lot related to what I want to talk about, but you know, Matthew right now is experiencing a different reality, more inclusive, higher reality than we are. I'm struck by kind of the suddenness of his death. You know, he had a heart attack and he was gone. It was like one breath he was here and the next he was gone. It's almost like he stopped, or his life stopped in mid-sentence, or like mid-word, right? And I thought, wow, I can't help but wonder if he would have finished some stuff off if he'd have known he was leaving. You know, he would have completed some stuff or cleaned some stuff up. I can't help but think, what would he have done if he was here like a week or a month later? What would he have done? Was he complete with everything? Boy, and I can't help but think, what if in the next breath I was gone? Could I say I was ready? Would there be things left not cleaned up or not done, or things that I wish I would have said to someone that I didn't? In college, I heard this story about a saint, Saint Jerome. I think I said Saint Jeremy in first gathering. Saint Jerome. He was a monk. And he was playing chess one day. He was playing chess with another monk. They're playing chess. They're kind of into this intense game. And a young monk came up to him and said, "Brother Jerome, what would you do if you knew that in 1 hour you'd be dead?" And Jerome looks at the young monk and says, "I'd finish this chess game. Finish what I was doing." And I always thought, that's a guy, that's a man who's cleaned up. You know, who said what he's needed to say, who's done what he's needed to do. He would simply finish what he's doing, not run off and make a phone call or run off and ask forgiveness or run off and say he loves someone. It's complete. At the beginning, when we first started this community 20-some years ago, we did a book study for a year of a book called A Year to Live by Stephen Levine. And he talks about how would you live this year? How would you live this year if it was your last year? If you knew this was your last year on the planet, how would you live? I have a sober thought, a sober fact. We are already 1 month through 2022. 1 month through. And you know, we began this month, a new cycle of light. We began this month with me asking you, what is it that you want to leave in 2021? So that you could make room for what wants to happen in 2022. Because there's some things, you know, the way we think about things, our thought processes, or emotional patterns, or behaviors, or people that just keep us down. And if we bring all that stuff in 2022, guess what? The end of 2022 isn't going to look much different than 2021. And we've got that momentum going in 23, 24, and we're at the end of our lives said, what happened to my life? You know, did I do what it was that maybe I was supposed to come here to do? Did I do that? So I really talked to you at the beginning of the month of getting really clear. And you know, since Matthew's passing, I have to say that I feel that urgency even more. To say, get really clear about how you want to live your life. There's a Buddhist tradition, and their whole practice is looking at their death as a spiritual practice, looking at their death so that they would know how to live. To discover how you want to live by considering your death. So the very first Sunday of the month, a whole, 3-4 Sundays ago, seems so long ago now, I asked you, what is it that you want to leave in 2021 to create room for 2020, what wants to happen in 2022? Leaving, it's a powerful thing. Whether we leave, or we discharge something or someone from our life, it's a powerful thing. Because it creates the possibility for what's new. So it's no small thing. So I really think, for me, it really serves me to periodically ask myself, what am I outgrowing in my life? What do I need to be done with? What's complete? So that I can create for what's new. So in a moment, I'm going to open this up and have some of you share, any of you want to share, what you want to be leaving in 2021. What you want to be leaving, what energy or thought process or pattern or person, hopefully they know. So I'll share mine. I'll share what I'm leaving. What I want to leave is this dynamic of losing myself. At times I lose myself in struggle or conflict or an experience of lack. I lose my centeredness. I think that this struggle I'm in or this conflict or this lack is a real thing. I forget that there's a greater reality or a greater unfolding. So I don't want to lose my perspective. When I run against, because most of us are probably going to at some point or another struggle or have conflict or maybe an experience of lack. As I go through those times this year, I want to be really clear that this isn't an ultimate reality, that there's a greater unfolding. So I don't want to lose myself in life's dramas. That's what I want to, that's me. I want to lose that energy of losing myself. Who else? What do you want to lose in 2021?
Negative self-criticism.
Negative self-criticism. That came up in first gatherings too. Negative self-criticism. Good one, Pat. Yeah, Joel.
Anxiety and embrace flexible intelligence and faith.
Release, Joel said, release anxiety and embrace intelligence.
Flexible intelligence and faith.
Flexible intelligence and faith. Thank you. Yeah, Elizabeth.
Releasing negative thoughts in my history with my family and focus on the positive and let go of anger advance something.
Okay, let go of anger and negative patterns with family. See, we have to let go of these if we want to create new ones, right? We've got to be aware of them, what we're releasing, or we're going to just repeat the pattern. Thanks, Elizabeth. Conrad.
Procrastination when it comes to physical well-being.
Procrastination when it comes to physical well-being. Thanks, Conrad. Cecilia.
Release regret to make room for
Release regret. Gosh.
make room for gratitude.
Release regret. How does regret serve us? I mean, how in any way does regret serve us? Yeah, make room for gratitude. Yes. Can you, I'm sorry, would you mind taking off your mask? It's hard sometimes to hear some of you.
That's very hard. Turning away from ideas that don't serve my highest self.
Yeah, turning away from lower ideas, lower vibration ideas, to move towards higher vibrational ideas, higher ideas. Good, thank you. Yes, Esther.
Releasing victimhood and embracing my light.
Releasing victimhood, embracing your light. Good. Yeah, Annette.
Releasing fear for those I love and embracing faith.
Releasing fear, embracing faith.
Releasing self-limitation.
Releasing self-limitation. So this is a self-aware group. Gosh.
I made a decision to release my one and only love so that I could have peace in my life.
Okay, I'm going to repeat that. That's a good one. Release my one and only love so that I can have peace in my life. I hope my one and only love isn't listening to this. Now that's good. Sometimes we have to release those we love, right? So we can find peace. Good. Didn't it feel good to say it? To me, it just feels kind of lighter in here. Okay, so we gotta release, right? We've got to release. That's the first step. Release the energy. Release the tendency to pick it up again, to go back. Because a lot of times we're habitual around these things. And then the next thing, I think I talked about this the second Sunday. The second step is to come present to the moment, just here and now. To leave the mental concepts of past, of regret, of past, or future. Because those are all concepts. You know, what's happening next? What am I preparing for? What do I have to plan? What's the next thing? That's mental concept. That's not real. It happens in our mind. Thinking about the past, it's the past. How many of you, I shared this example maybe at the beginning of the month. One of my favorite things to do is walking my dogs around the neighborhood, especially this time of year, right? It's so beautiful. We live in a nice neighborhood. I love that. I love just checking out what people are doing in their yards, the trees, the flowers, saying hey to people. And how many times do I just miss that because I'm caught up in my thought process? I pass by so much. Time goes slower when we're present. it rushes when we don't, and when we don't dwell in it, you know, when we're caught up into some mental concept. So I have a mental concept. Those of you who know me well would agree with this. I have a mental concept that keeps me disengaged from the moment. And my mental concept is how things should be. Because I have a gift. I was born with the gift of how things should be. In my life, in your life, in the world, it's not many of you recognize it, but I do. And that is living in a mental concept. It's because I'm looking to see if it's happening. I'm waiting and I'm feeling whatever I'm feeling when it's not happening, or I'm trying to make it happen. How many of you were born with the same gift? Yeah. See, and when I dwell in that area, I'm missing the moment, the spontaneous flow of the moment. So the question, I think I asked you this the second Sunday, how much do you live in a mental concept versus how much do you live in life? In this moment here now. Here's the biggest, I think, the biggest tragedy of living in mental concept. I think this is the biggest tragedy. We cut ourselves off from the divine experience. The divine happens here and now. A greater potential for reality happens here and now. A connection with that which created and sustains everything, whatever you call it. We lose our contact with that. We lose the possibility of a connection with that. Because divinity doesn't dwell in mental concepts, in what we think about the past or what we think about the future. That's all in our head. The infinite, the divine dwells and moves and has its being in the moment. And in our society, right, correct me if I'm wrong, we so support this living in mental concept. Like, what's the next shiny thing to get? Right? That culture has no place to acknowledge the power, the transformative power of divine experience. So spirituality is looked upon as something less than. And I think that's the tragedy, because that's where our life force, our life connection is sourced from. Let's take a breath here on that one. What else do I want to say? The other thing I want to say is Reverend Sarah Hand spoke the third month about let love lead you. Let love guide you. Let love lead you. So I want to tell this story when she said this. Julia Butterfly Hill wrote a book some 20 years ago about her experience. She was a woman that lived in a tree for a year. She lived in a tree so that the loggers would not cut this tree, or I guess forest, right? This grove of trees down. So she went up and she moved in this tree, and she lived there for 1 year. And we had a conference here, a Science of Mind conference in San Diego 20 years ago, and she was a keynote speaker at it. And she talked about her experience of it, and there's a book, I don't know the name of the book, but a book she wrote on this experience. And it was a powerful experience she talked about. And she opened it up at the end of this presentation for questions that people had about this experience. So someone raised their hand, I remember this. I'm standing in the back, I'm listening to these questions and answers. I'm pretty inspired by this talk. And someone raised their hands and they asked her a question. They said, what should we do? What's our response? And I'm thinking, oh my God, she's going to tell us we all have to go live in trees or something that radical, because she certainly did something pretty radical. So what am I going to have to feel guilty about not doing now? I remember thinking. And she said, this is what she said, her response. She said, do what you love. She says, find what you love and root in that. Do what you love. And the rest takes care of itself. St. Augustine, a 13th, 12th century saint, says, love God and do what you will. Right? Let your ethics, how you behave, be determined by love. That's a powerful thing. Love God. Love. And in the context of love, in the experience of love, do what you will. I'm kind of so aware the last week or so, almost like the different levels of reality. There's a dense reality, which is guilt and regret and shame and anger and judgment and withhold. There is a lower vibration. There's higher vibrations. The symbol of that, the highest, is light. It's love. It's generosity. It's kindness. It's service. It's joy. It's peace. And you and I have the ability to live anywhere along the spectrum. And the highest vibration is that experience of light, divine experience, alter other reality, a reality that we come to beyond our senses, other than our senses. So I really invite you, just before we close out this first month of the year, to get really clear about how you want to live your life. Maybe use this idea of, what if I had 11 months left? What if I had 11 months left on this planet? Who would I be? So I'm going to invite you right now to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And there's a reading by Ernest Holmes that I'm going to actually probably read it a couple times. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our philosophy. Ernest Holmes says, spiritual experience, the realization of God. It is a fact. It springs from within us, coming from that never-failing source of life, which quenches every thirst, whose source is in eternity, the wellspring of self-existence. Again, spiritual experience, the realization of God, it is a fact. It springs forth from within us, coming from that never-failing fountain of life, which quenches every thirst, whose source is in eternity, the wellspring of self-existence. So I invite you, if you would like, to place your hand over your heart and breathe deeply into your heart. Feel it open. Feel within it an energy, a life force, a presence, a call. A call to be who you're born to be, who you came here to be. Beyond the struggle, the conflict, the lack. To a higher vibration, a higher frequency, a higher love. So just imagine yourself rising up now. So knowing each one of us is guided and held and loved and supported by this infinite presence. Know this with me as together we say. So it is. Amen. Let's welcome back Gino and our house band.
By the way, may I say thank you for all the love you've shown all of these years since I've been born. You know, some folks thought you were college bound, and others expected you to settle down, not ignoring what they had in mind. But you got your own path to find. You gotta live up, don't give up to the challenge to do your thing. You wanna cut loose all those strings and sing your song. Sing hatred into love. Yes, we do. Sing the praises of joy within. Sing each tear into a smile. can do anything. You can do anything when you sing your own song. You can do anything when you sing your own song. You can do anything. You can do anything when you sing your own song. Sounds.
So we'll welcome back Donna Girardi.
Miss Gino, you are something. Woo, we can do anything. Love that. So I am here to talk about conscious giving with you this morning. And I want to share with you what I choose to leave behind in 2022. And it's the idea that there is anything wrong with me. There is not a single thing that is wrong with me, and there's not a single thing that is wrong with you. And Amy Steinberg's famous words. The reason that I know that I can give that up and fully own the truth that everything is right with me is because of Universal Spirit Center. It's because of the concepts that I have learned there. It's because of the classes I have taken there. It's because of the people that I talk to there. It's because of all of my experiences there at Universal Spirit Center that I know this to be the truth about me. And what I know about our center is that we have spiritual richness. I've been reading about this idea of spiritual richness, and it really resonates with me. A spiritually rich community is one that is prosperous and opulent and filled with abundance in its ideas, in its concepts, in its practices, in its very beingness. And Universal Spirit Center is the epitome of that richness. But for something to be rich, there has to be giving and receiving. So Universal Spirit Center has given me so much over the 20 years that I've been involved here that I freely and joyfully and open-heartedly give out of my time, my talent, and my money regularly. And I do it with love in my heart and deep, deep gratitude. Because as Michael Gott says in one of his songs, we can do amazing things because we are spiritually rich and we have a center that is filled with spiritual richness. So I invite you to participate in this act of giving and receiving by giving generously to Universal Spirit Center so we can keep on being this transformative presence in the world and making the kind of difference in many lives that it has made in my own life. So I thank each one of you, and I love all of you. And like I said, I'm so eager to see you in person again soon. So for now, I just ask you to place your hands over your hearts and simply repeat after me. I give in a vein of spiritual richness, and I receive in the vein of spiritual richness. And so it is.
Everybody sing along. How can I serve today, sweet spirit? How can I serve today? Oh, understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Can I love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Woo-hoo.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you, our house band. Thank all of you for being here. So please stand and place your hands over your heart, and we're going to ask Donna Girardi to pray us out here this morning. Donna.
So breathing in that gratitude that's filling up the room and filling up the world. I know that we take that in and take it with us throughout the week to come, that we fill our lives with spiritual richness and we go out and do amazing things. And so it is.
I see joy, I see peace, I see the goodness surrounding me. I see love in every breath I breathe. I see God in everything. I see happiness, I see